So this question, right, actually is a pure question on differentiation. Okay, so as a recap, I'm going to recap the symbol. So when you have fx, that's equivalent to the expression for y. When you have f prime, that's equivalent to dy dx. And when you have f double prime, okay, that is equivalent to your second derivative. So basically in this question, there is a f prime here, which is your dy dx. And then you actually got to show a second derivative. So basically this question is just getting you to differentiate. And then you just need to be careful with your technique. So there's nothing tricky about it. So for the first part, if I want to get the f prime, I'll just be using chain rule, where I will bring down power minus power. And do remember to differentiate inside. The differentiate inside is quite easy. It's just a bring down power minus power on x4. You will get a 4x cubed multiplied by 1/6. So remember to bring down power minus power, differentiate inside. Okay, so if you simplify, I choose to simplify the algebra, and then I leave the bracket alone. That is a power 8 bracket. So I think the first part is rather easy. The second part can be a bit more challenging, just because you will need to execute a product rule. So when you execute the product rule, this will be the U, this will be the V. So to differentiate U is just the bring down power minus power. To differentiate V is another chain rule. So it's very similar to the first part. So it's a bring down power minus power, and then you differentiate inside. And the same idea apply. I choose to multiply the algebra. Okay, so there's no trick in this. The trick comes when you combine them into the product rule. So there are students who get stuck because after they combine, they may know how to combine, but they couldn't execute a take out common factor. So if you can get U and V and the respective differentiation, and you apply your product rule, which is U dV dx plus V du dx. So if you use this multiplied by this, that will be the first part. And then if you use this multiplied by this, that will be the second part of the product rule. So if you can achieve until here, your differentiation is complete. You already done your share of differentiation. Whether you can get the expression that they want you to show is dependent on your factorization technique. So you need to be clear. So if you are able to execute your differentiation, why can't you get the proof? It could be due to your technique of picking up common factor. So the rest is just algebra. So if you can form out your dy dx at this stage, your second derivative at this stage, your differentiation is totally completed. What remain here is your algebra technique. And your algebra technique is simply taking out common factor. And there is a very glaring common factor that you can take out. There is a bracket with power 7. There is a bracket with power 8. So you take out the more glaring one first. So if you take out the more glaring one, it should be a power 7. So when you take out the power 7, you will be left with 32x6. When you take out from here a power 7, you will be left with 18x squared, and there's still a power 1 being left here. So that is already a very basic take out common factor. So once you achieve your take out common factor, you will just need to simplify this portion first. So the simplification is very easy. It's just opening up the bracket. And then you will find that there are 2 power x6. Okay, you just simplify. If there are 2 x6, you just simplify. After this level of simplification, you check this bracket. Is there any common factor? So you realize that there's an x squared as a common factor. So you take out x squared from whatever you simplify. And notice that after I took out the first level of common factor, I didn't touch a common factor anymore. My focus is what is being left behind. So it's a very simple case of take out common factor. So if let's say you couldn't get the proof, it has to be due to some technical issue if you're able to differentiate. So distinguish your mistake, whether is it a differentiation mistake or whether is it an algebra mistake. Otherwise, it's just as simple as chain rule and product rule. And it doesn't even require any exponential function or trigo function at all.